Finders!
We're back with another episode of Food Finders, and today we are in a very ulu Bukit Panjang. What are we doing here?
Okay, so we are here to find food around Bukit Panjang. It's a very ulu place that I think not many Singaporeans know. Do you come here often?
No, I don't think most of us have ever been here anyway.
So we've actually asked our followers for some recommendations and we'll be trying them out today. So we found some random Bukit Panjang facts. What does the name Bukit Panjang mean?
I mean, it's a literal translation of Malay, so it just means like a lengthy hill, long hill, I guess. Doesn't make sense, but...
No, apparently it's named after like the long stretches of hills.
So there's many hills here, it's just not one bukit.
Yeah, I think there are many hills, yeah. Okay, next question. What was Bukit Panjang originally called?
I have no clue. Oh.
It was originally called Zheng.
Zhenghua. How do you go from Chinese to Malay?
So Bukit Panjang is made up of 7 subzones. Can you name them?
I know there's Dairy Hill. That's the only rock climbing place in Singapore.
Close, Dairy Farm. Okay, so there is Senja, Jelibu, Bangkit, Fajar, Saujana and Nature Reserve.
Okay, so now we're done with all the interesting and fun facts. Let's head up to the first part. We're at Hock Eating House. It has a very nice Malaysia-esque rustic charm to it.
Okay, so this old school eatery is known for like their zi cha, but it only opens in the evening. But then a lot of people online said that the other stores are very underrated. The fish soup, wonton mee and the prata.
We are back on the table with a crazy amount of food. We do have some prawn crackers here on the left side with some, I believe, potato curry puff. We got some wonton mee with added duck. It's a little bit more nostalgia for me because this is very reminiscent of how they would eat prata in Malacca or Malaysia. We've got this prata with spring onions instead of regular onions, as well as an egg. So it's kind of like a Chinese scallion pancake, I believe. Let's start off with the wonton mee. So you got nice pieces of char siu. I think it's a pretty decent portion. As you can see, it's kind of a lot of meat. Super thinly sliced. Nice fattiness. It's almost falling off. Very smoky. You get a nice, deep and rich char siu flavor from the 5 spices. And it's not tough at all. Usually a lot of the char sius you eat will be very dry, kind of tough. This one's really tender. I don't know if it's specially for us, but I hope it's the same for everyone here. But so far, the char siu on this plate is top notch. It's kind of spicy. They do add quite a bit of sambal in there. The flavor is kind of like your black wonton mee versus the ones you normally had with just chili and ketchup and things like that. I feel like the food here really kind of reminds me of Malaysia in terms of like the cooking style and the preparation style. Not really complicated in terms of flavor. Soy sauce, oyster sauce, probably just sambal. That's it. The duck. Usually duck is quite dry for me. I don't like duck rice because of that. This duck is really tender. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but the most tender chicken breast ever. You know what I mean. Let's try out the soup. Wonton looks very petite, very cute. Yeah, it's not too much filling. It's probably like a teaspoon of meat in there. The sesame oil really comes through, white pepper really comes through, and it's a really basic, wholesome kind of wonton that you expect to have. Let's move on to the prata. This looks really unique. I've never had spring onion in their prata before. This is basically an omelette wrapped in a prata casing, like a really crispy prata casing. Hella fluffy, and that's a lot of egg. It's a little bit plainer than I would like. The prata isn't the super crispy kind. If you are a fan of the doughier, chewier prata, this is a prata for you. The exterior is not super crispy as well. They actually put onions and spring onions in this. So if you're planning to go for a meeting or a date or something like that, maybe just try the plain one. You know what? I'm gonna try some of that sambal first. So it's kind of like your ikan bilis sambal, except that it's toned down by half, so it's not spicy at all. We're gonna banjir everything here. Curry. With that fish curry. So much better with the sauces, especially if you mix everything in. I do like my onion prata, but this is onion prata. The good thing about this prata is that it's not oily, which most of the pratas, it's usually like almost deep fried in oil. This one's not at all. It's not greasy, and it's really fluffy. So it's almost like an omelette wrapped up in a crispy prata casing. Because most of the time, the center is just the egg, but this one's evenly distributed and it's a lot of eggs, very even. The only qualm about this prata is that I should have added a bit more salt, you know. This is kind of plain tasting, but personally, if you weren't having this sauces and just eating a prata plain, it's a little bit underwhelming. We have some shrimp fritters over here. It's interesting because most of the time prawn crackers, they would usually have just one giant prawn, and this one's actually a lot of smaller prawns in here, so it's easier for you to eat, especially if it's crunchier. So it is a little bit greasy. The prawn itself is nice. It doesn't have that really hard shell that most of you will encounter. Like it kind of stabs the roof of your mouth. It's not very pleasant. Like the parsley bits here, it really comes through. So if you do not like parsley, it might be an issue for you because the flavor is really pronounced on this one. The dough itself is really crispy on the outside. Inside is nice and mochi-esque. Let's move on to the curry puff. It looks super flaky. They actually have a nice circular pattern. It's kind of rare you find these curry puff now. It's very like Indian style, I believe. That's nostalgia and a bite. There's bits of like shredded chicken in here and a really creamy potato. It's not one of those where you have chunks of potatoes in them. This one's kind of like half mashed up and half little bits inside. It's really nice. The spice level is not too overwhelming. It's not spicy. I think the chicken chunks combined with the curry spice and like the creamy potatoes, this is exactly what I grew up eating. This is it. This is it for me.
Did you come back here for that?
Yes, just for this, yeah. The crust is so buttery, it's so flaky, hella crunchy. Before I finish all of this delicious food and head off to the next spot, we do want to mention that the Tisa stall here, it's really good, but they open at 4. So they have really popular fish soup and as well as minced meat noodle here. Well, basically any of the stalls here are pretty good. Do give that a try if that's your thing, and we'll see you in the next store. So this place is called Uncle KKM apparently. So they have like a bunch of different noodles that you can have. You can have this coca noodles, you can have ban mian and all of your standard works. Apparently they open at 3 a.m.
3 a.m. to 2 p.m. So weird timing.
I don't know why. So this bowl of noodles looks kind of hearty. You get your coca noodles. We have some liver, minced meat, a whole egg, some pork slices as well. From my quick Google, apparently coca noodles are instant noodles. It's a Singaporean brand that established in 1986. And these noodles are a little bit special because they try to be the healthier variations of instant noodles. Most of the noodles are actually baked instead of deep fried. Yup, it's instant noodles. It's kind of like your Indomie. So the noodles are quite springy, but I believe if it was fresh, maybe 5 minutes ago, it would have been like really springy. The liver's cooked pretty well actually. Not too much of that irony, bloody taste. It's not too tough as well. Meatballs, I guess, really shines through. You have a very nice meaty porkiness to it, but not gamey. Sesame oil really comes through on this one. It's seasoned quite well. I could basically just eat this on its own. If you have like a side of this is amazing. I believe there's some huatel too as well as some white pepper. There's some cornstarch as well, I believe, because it is quite springy. Usually if they don't add cornstarch, it'll be quite meaty, quite lean. Alright, let's try some of that soup. I believe their broth is what's popular here. Their broth is quite milky. I guess it's from the eggs and the noodles. On the saltier side, it's very meaty, very porky. This is quite hearty after a night's out. For some reason, you're ever in Bukit Panjang.
A night safari.
If you need a nice warm meal, this will probably hit the spot at 3 a.m. and then you have a really good sleep afterwards. Yeah, but other than that, I think it's pretty standard. Kou Mian is a pretty good one. The garlic really comes through with the noodles. Minced meatballs are very nice as well. And your broth is just flavorful. Your noodles are springy. Yeah, it's just overall a really good noodle. A very basic noodle, but a really good one. I guess I'll just smash this bowl and we'll head off to the next spot. So we got some rice, which may or may not be yam rice, and we got some duck kway teow as well. It looks pretty hearty and I'm excited to try some, and let's... Seth, I think we have a different size. Beep!
We ordered kway teow and rice.
Kway teow and rice. Is this yam rice? I don't see any yam.
Rice is sauce.
It's rice with sauce. I don't see no yam. Let's give this duck kway teow a try, shall we? It looks pretty hearty. This whole set was $5, including the rice. 7 pieces of duck. Kway teow looks nice and silky. We have some kind of thick chup going on right here. Oh yeah, the kway teow is cooked really well. Very slippery, very silky. The sambal that they have, man, that really takes everything up a notch. Deep umami, kind of shrimpy. It is a little bit spicy, but if you mix everything together with the shrimpiness, the umaminess, and just everything just blends so well together. So this duck is a little bit chewier than the one we had previously this morning. It's still relatively tender. The flavor kind of shines through as well in terms of the duckiness. It's not gamey at all. Nothing too special about this. It's a little bit dry, a little bit chewy. I think the first place was better. Overall, it's just not too bad. I think the noodles are much better than the proteins in this. Overall rating, I think this is a pretty much standard bowl of duck noodles. The only different thing is that the noodles are actually quite silky and nice, and the flavor is quite good. And the rice is rice. Rice is normal.
Oh wait, so funny thing is that they also open at weird timing. morning. They open at 4:30 a.m.
What do you guys do here? Like, do you guys not sleep or vampire-ish kind of timetable going on here? Beep! Yeah, the soup is actually kind of watered down. It's not really herbally, it's not much flavor in this, unfortunately. That pretty much wraps up this duck noodles. We'll conclude everything that we have today and we'll give some thoughts on it. So we've come to the end of the episode. Let's review. Today we went to 3 spots. We had our wonton noodles at the first spot, along with some prata. We also had a curry puff and some prawn fritters in the first place. The second place is Uncle KKM, and the last place, which is here, Braised duck kway teow. So my top 2 would probably be the curry puff in the first spot and the Kou Mian, because the Kou Mian was actually pretty nice, pretty flavorful. The meats, though it's a bit saltier. First one, the curry puff, is really good. All the nostalgic elements there is to me for like a Malaysia curry puff. For the third spot, the braised duck noodles, we do have to clarify that it wasn't a yam rice. It was actually just like braised sauce rice. So to anyone coming here in the future, it's not yam rice. So that's it for this episode of Food Finders. Comment below what you think your favorite one is, or if I missed out anything. Let me know what else you want to see in the next few episodes. See you next one.
这样放住，是不是够漂亮吗？